Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher. It is about us, the authors.
Well, hello, all of you book lovers, storytellers, and hello, people all over the world. Listen, welcome to the grandest online book event of the year, the Festival of Storytellers, Chapter 5, you guys. Now, we are streaming on all social media platforms. So listen, I want you to make sure to follow and subscribe. So today, I am going to be interviewing a guest here, the author of the hour, the featured author, who has written the book Servant's Heart from the voice of a volunteer. And that person is none other than Jamie Pulos-Fry. She is a member of Lancaster Baptist Church in Lancaster, California, has a servant's heart by servicing in music ministry, volunteers in many areas of the church, and for the West Coast Baptist College. This is her second book and hopes this helps you understand more of what a volunteer can be on a daily basis. So without further ado, let's welcome Miss Jamie Pulos-Fry to the stage. Welcome, my friend. Welcome, Jamie. How are you?
I'm doing just fine. Just
Fabulous.
Technical difficulties.
Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, you know what? I had some technical difficulty a little earlier too with one of my interview sessions in the author booth. And I'm telling you, it's the worst. Okay. Right before you get ready to start, things go haywire.
Oh,
well, listen,
yes,
I'm certainly happy. I'm happy today to be interviewing you about your fabulous book. And so I know that all of the people that are watching us right now can't wait to hear from you. So we're just going to jump right in with some questions here. All righty. So tell us today, who is Jamie before she became a volunteer?
Jamie was, I don't want to say, I was an insurance agent.
Okay.
But I also used to, I also used to be a receptionist at a dance studio.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Did you dance at all?
I also did construction. My parents were landlords, so I used to do construction as well from the ages of 10 to 17. So I learned how to do roofing, plumbing, all kinds of carpeting, all kinds of stuff. So I'm well-rounded, you know.
Okay.
So I've learned to do a lot of things. And then I started volunteering when I was probably in my 20s.
Oh, maybe. Wow. Okay.
My mother worked at Lockheed Martin.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they would have events and stuff. And I would volunteer at their gift shop and stuff like that for Christmas and help with sales and stuff like that. And I will tell you, it's kind of funny when you go in not expecting anything and you get paid. It's nice to get paid even though you,
Hello.
and then, oh
Let's
yeah,
get
and then there's
great.
times you go,
Okay.
and then there's times you go in there expecting something and you get nothing. So
Right.
just expect nothing when you go into volunteer. I think it's the best thing to do because then it's more fun and you're doing it from your heart.
Absolutely, absolutely, Jamie. I love that you said that, whenever we go in and we don't expect anything, that's whenever we get everything, right? And so that is
Exactly.
really the heart of a true servant, whenever we can go in and serve, without expecting anything really in return. And so I'm so grateful that you said that. Absolutely. And so at what point, Jamie, did you decide to be an author? And what was your path to publication?
Well, I decided to be an author after I saw things going on around me, following God a little bit more, seeing an open door that it was a gift that God had given me. My
Mm-hmm.
mother, I had stopped reading,
Okay.
and my mother started me reading again. And then I started reading some really enjoyable books that got me, I'm just going to say it. It's a reading bug, and all of a sudden I said, well,
Reading bug.
there,
First time I heard
yeah.
that. Okay.
Well, it's something I made up. I just
Right. I
thought,
get it.
it's something cute. My mother got me reading. She used to be in a book um, club, and read books back and
Mm-hmm.
forth and pass books back and forth. And then all of a sudden I said, well, I have experiences, things that God has given me. And so I decided to put them out, for people to read. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Christian as well. And we have trials and tribulations that we go through. And
Absolutely.
sometimes we're there to help other people through the experiences that we've learned.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Jamie. I couldn't agree with you more, that the stories and the different things that we go through in life certainly, will help someone else on the other side. I was raised by a grandmother, and she used to always say, baby, what you going through is for somebody else. And I'm like, well, listen, can somebody else
Exactly.
do it for me? Because I don't want to go through this right now.
I don't either sometimes, but guess what? It's not our choice. God gave it to us. He said
That's
it's
right.
time for you to learn this so you can get through it and hopefully we don't go through it again. Because
Yes,
sometimes we don't
hallelujah.
learn the
Like,
first
don't
time.
you hate that whenever like it's the same cycle over and over? Like I just went through this last year around the same time. Okay. So mostly we didn't learn what we needed to learn. So I believe
Exactly.
sometimes God allows us to go back through those cycles, to be able to learn from it. But I am so grateful that you mentioned that and that you have actually stepped out here to write your books and share them with the world, because there is somebody out there that needs to hear what you have to say, Jamie. And I commend you for doing that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So I wanted to piggyback just a little bit on the earlier years. You were talking about how you volunteered as a young girl and you were going from place to place and different things like that. Was there ever a time that you felt like, I just don't want to do this today? I'm just asking.
Yeah, there are.
Okay.
But guess what? I've experienced some things where I've had things, even when I'm at church and I'm sitting there and there's a person sitting next to me, just being very negative, being very, just argumentative or whatever. And I had to
Mm-hmm.
get into my servant, my faith, my trial, whatever mode and say, okay,
Yes.
Lord, I'm here to help that person to enjoy the day. Don't be negative themselves and just leave it at the door. I've
Mm-hmm.
learned to leave it at the door. Whatever I'm
Mm-hmm.
going through, don't give it to other people. You don't want to do that when you're at church. You're there for God.
Mm-hmm.
You're there to
Mm-hmm.
listen to the music, to the sermon, and get something from it. And so
Mm-hmm.
if I'm doing that, I need to reflect that to the person sitting next to me and other people around me. So me getting mad and upset with her because she's being a nag isn't a good example. So I
Mm-hmm.
just had to get back into my Christian suit, as they call it, and say, okay, I'm here to help her. I'm not here to worry about how she's affecting me. I'm here to
Uh-huh.
encourage her, to make her laugh, to have her fun. And at the end, she says, well, enjoy the rest of your day and thank you for, and it ended up being a positive experience because I made it a positive experience.
Absolutely, absolutely. That is beautiful, that you could just take that situation and just, kind of turn it around. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
so many people, whenever they're dealing with something, they don't know how to hide it well. They don't cover it well. Everybody is going to get,
You have to
or
do
have
it.
to
Yes.
deal with
And
what
let
you
them get
have
through it.
going
But you
on.
know what? That's fine. Hey, I'm not bad. I'm not telling you I'm perfect. I know I probably dumped
Hmm.
on someone myself, but I've learned
Yes.
sometimes to back off and not do it, because I'm hearing myself
Hmm.
going, oh, that's not a good thing to be doing. So I've learned to back off. But I do have
you
friends.
know,
I do have
that,
friends that I dump on, but that's
uh-huh,
usually at home or over the phone or something, but
uh-huh,
never in front of people. That's not
right.
something you don't want to cry. You don't want to talk about politics. You don't, all these kinds
Hmm.
of things I've taught. There's just not times that you do in a group setting. It's just not, because then you got arguments and all those kinds of things. So there's just certain things you just don't talk about, in a group setting.
Absolutely, and knowing when to share, certainly is really, really key there. And I do believe that, as we are going through and experiencing different things, we certainly do need an outlet. And we got to know, who that particular outlet is or who that
Mhm.
particular person is that we can share with,
Exactly. Mhm.
because sometimes we can just, like you said, dump on the wrong person and it just does not go over well
No, and you
for
don't
you
want to
or
chase them
them.
away. No.
That whole part. So I have another question for you, Jamie, that I want to ask. So, uh, why did you write this book?
Servant's Heart from the Voice of a Volunteer.
Yes, ma'am.
I wrote it because I didn't see in our Christian bookstore a book about volunteering in a Christian
Okay.
environment. So
Uh-huh.
that's part of the reason why I did it. And it showed different parts of volunteering. That's why faith is important. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we're all, because we don't do it just to be doing it. We do it to help other people, to encourage other
Absolutely.
people. I mean, when I volunteer, I've done it in different forms, usually serving food, but you can also do
Mm-hmm.
it at work. You know, you can do it, you can do it for, at church, you can do it. We have certain events and stuff that we do at church. So I have times where I can volunteer. I can host a class. I can serve food. I volunteer in a coffee shop and a bookstore. So there's different things for me to do, but you can also do it in your community and help out
Mm-hmm.
there, you know,
Mm-hmm.
um, and you'll learn things. See, that's the thing when you go and volunteer, make it something that you enjoy to do, something that you want to do for a career or something that as a younger person, using it for a jump forward, to help you, to
Mm-hmm.
see if that's really the job that you want to do. Because so if you
Mm-hmm.
volunteer in the environment and you see what it does, and if it's something you think it's works for you, then try it out first, and see before you
Mm-hmm.
actually get into the job. So
Yeah, you know what?
volunteering
And that's
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm so glad that you mentioned that too, because so oftentimes I find that we have people that are volunteering to do different things, but it's not really what they want to do. It's almost like making your kids do something and they don't want to do it.
Yep,
It
yep.
shows, right? It
It
shows all
shows.
over
I've
their
done it with
face and their
I've been
demeanor
a
and
leader.
everything. I don't want to be here right now.
uh, I've had an event where I ended up being the leader of this group of people trying to do something. And she brought her kids, she brought her kids, and she is the most pushiest person in the world
Hmm.
and trying to control everything. But
Okay.
I had friends that I work with, and I'm doing this for a particular person to set up something in the future. And I finally had to sit with her and say, okay, now who's the boss here? Who's the leader? And she goes, you are. She knew,
Hmm.
and she realized, and we said it right off the bat, and she controlled herself, but she's still behind the back. She was still trying. Well, should I do this? Should I? Says no. I think she can handle it. So I had already warned my friends that she
Hmm.
was going to try to do this, so they helped me. You know what I'm saying? So you have to know your environment, and you have to know your
Hmm.
people that you ask to help you, and learn what to do. Somebody has given me a question here. Let's see. Comment. Love to hear that, Jamie. Three such as unique books. Oh yeah, I have three books. Okay, so I have Servant's Voice, Servant's Servant's Heart from the Voice of a Volunteer. that one. Then I also have Encouraging a Friend with Your Trials. And then I have A Widow's Cry. Okay. And then, of course, we have Family Memories with the Little Mystery. Okay. So that's where I'm pulling from all this stuff. I've written many books and I'm enjoying them and getting them out for people. So, that's why things are important to me. Somebody else has got me something else. Let's see, what is it? Jamie is a resident of Reader's Magnet Book Confab. She also brings her sister with her, who likes her very much. Yes, I have gone to many of the. I guess I can talk about them. I have one coming up. It's in London Book Fair for March 12th through the 14th. And then we also have Los Angeles Times, April 20th to the 21st. And then we also, new one for us, which is Beverly Hills Book Confab for April 17th to the 18th. My sister loves coming with me. It's kind of a vacation for her as well.
Look, I'm telling you, it's always good to have somebody to come along with you. I actually went to the Frankfurt Book Fair in October of last year, and I was so grateful that my friend came along with me because I don't know how I would have made it without her. It's my first time going out of the country, obviously, and so of course everything is in their language, right? And so, it was an eventful event. I was so grateful to be able to go, and so I'm so excited to see that you're going to be going to London and also to LA and Beverly Hills. So we definitely look forward to all that is going to come out of that for you, Miss Jamie. You are a very busy lady. So I have another question for you. So if you would describe Servant's Heart from the voice of a volunteer in 10 words or less for people who are just learning about it, how could you do it?
Oh, I don't know if I could do 10 words. I'm like, oh boy. That's a little hard. I'm a writer, right? So we're very wordy.
Right, that part, especially when you're talkative too, is a little hard to do. Well, JP said, great to have you today, Jamie. It's an honor to have Letitia Barnhart as the moderator. Enjoy your time, ladies. Thank you, JP.
So basically, Servant's Heart is a book about teaching people to volunteer, of course. Get out there and find your place. There's also things in here about being faithful, about showing no favoritism. Make sure you're asking questions. There's good. No shame to that. So that's kind of what it's about. It's to help you to understand that volunteering is not just, how do I say this? A volunteer cannot tell a volunteer what to do. There's always a person above you to tell you what to do. There's a supervisor. There's a manager. Those are the ones you have to go to if you have a question. You should not, because volunteers, they don't know everything either. Okay, so, but that's just my opinion, okay? Most people, as a volunteer, this is one problem I see. That's part of the reason why I put this in there, okay? There's no favoritism. God didn't do favoritism. We're not supposed to be doing that either. So I serve college students, okay? And they volunteer too. They pull them from the line, and there's 3 lines, and so we've got 2 here, and me, and another. And sometimes they want to give more food. And so the college student goes up to me and says, "Oh, can you give me more?" And I have to tell the person sitting next to me or standing next to me, says, "Okay, we were only told to give them this much. Don't give more."
That whole part.
It's hard. And then I says, "Okay, I tell them favoritism, and they say, 'Well, I'm not doing." I says, "Yes, you are." And so you're calling me I'm a sinner. I'm like, aren't we all sinners saved by grace? We're none of us are perfect, right?
That is so funny, Jamie. Listen, tell us where they can get your books from. Where can they find your books?
Okay, they can find them in many places. We can find them at blurb.com.
Okay.
Most people don't even know what that is. That's where I self-publish my books. They're going to start finding my books at Reader's Magnet. Okay. They're also starting to self-publish them for me as well.
Good deal.
And so most of my books will start going, I think the first one will be Encouraging Your Friend with Our Trials. That's the first one we finished.
Mm-hmm.
So we can find them at readers blurb.com. And then eventually the other ones will be going through as well, to Barnes and Noble and Amazon and Barnes and Noble. So those are
Fabulous.
where our books are going to go. Right now
Absolutely.
we're in the process of getting just Encouraging a Friend with Our Trials done, and then we're working on Servant's Heart from the Voice of a Volunteer.
All right, perfect. James said, my favorite book by Jamie is Encouraging a Friend. I want to read Family's Memory soon. All right, Jamie, thank you so much. Or James, thank you so much for that. And so at this moment, we're going to do a little hashtag activity. So, what is our first word? Let's flash that first word up for Jamie. All right, servant. How do we know? All right, talk to us about being a
How did we
servant,
know that?
Jamie.
Okay, let's see. Now, what do I see when I see a servant? First off, it's a volunteer. Okay, it's somebody that's let's see. I was trying to figure out what I should say. Okay, do volunteers matter? Yes, they do. So that's a servant, right? What you'll do when you go out as a servant or as a volunteer, you'll be able to draw closer to God. You'll know you are making a difference in other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
You are setting a good example for your kids, and you are growing personally. Now, we all, as a volunteer, in the past, it was thought that individuals volunteered strictly for the practice of unselfish concerns for the welfare of others. Some reasons would be like a Samaritan that goes out of his way to aid a stranger. Another example would be a soldier who goes back to save a fallen comrade. It was the noble thing for someone to lend a hand for the greater good of mankind. Some people helping those in need for no reward, favor, or any show of gratitude. So that's to me as a servant or a volunteer. So that was just my input for that one.
Okay.
And it came from my book.
All right. Came from the book, straight from the book. Did you hear that, you guys? Came straight from the book. And we need you to go and pick it up. All right. Let's look at another hashtag. Well, the hashtag I think is going to be coming soon. Okay. The hashtag is volunteer now. I think you touched on it a little bit there.
Let's see. What else can I say about
touched on it a little bit.
Okay. When I was younger, like I told you, I even started as in junior achievement, which is from high school. Mm-hmm. Some people volunteer as a result of the instilled need of values they have, set of values that comply them to want to help others. However, I volunteered to give back to my community. I'm grateful for the help I received from others. When I was in high school, I participated in Junior Achievement Program and Letter Girls Club. Okay. I lettered in swimming, which meant I got to do all the football games, concession stands, which means hot dogs and sodas and popcorn and all that fun stuff. Yeah. Then I got to see all the football games. It was fun. And so through Junior Achievement Program and Letter Girls, I was able to acquire skills and opportunities that have helped me become the woman that I am today. So give back by serving at my church and college to encourage kids to have the same chances at life that I have had. You know, as a letter girl and being a letter girl, my last semester, at that time, I'm aging myself. Okay, you guys, high school was 9th, 10th, what was it? 10th, 11th, and 12th. When I graduated, it ended up being 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So they added, so we had all these younger people that were just shy and not, you know, they just weren't grown up yet. You know, they were still short and all this. And so they were scared. So I ended up helping out a lot of kids, you know, that were 9th graders and 10th graders to not be so uncomfortable. I was really surprised. I became president of the club, which is not something I expected. I got voted in. And I looked out in the room and I went, oh my, there's no standing room. People were standing in the back. Normally, we don't have that many people. Okay. But because
Mm-hmm.
I encouraged other people down the road and made them feel comfortable and about themselves as well as, as my own self,
Mm-hmm.
they were able to step out of their comfort zone and do things around the church, around the campus, around school, work, whatever. There were so many things that I did that I didn't realize was an honor. I had no
Okay.
idea some of the things I did was actually, most people or most high school students didn't get to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was a volunteer and a servant even back then and didn't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, School was fun because I was in choir, because I was doing things like handing out Valentine's secret, messages and stuff during
Mm-hmm.
class time. I actually
Mm-hmm.
got the privilege of going to do, and I had no idea that was something an honor to do. And this
Uh-huh.
is some really silly thing. I had no idea this was an honor either. I got picked to be, which I thought was kind of silly, the secretary for the day.
Okay.
Most people, yeah, you get to be principal of the day or the nurse of the day or something. Well, I got to be secretary of the day. And I'm like,
Wow.
why am I doing this? I had no idea it was even in the drawing for it. I had no idea it was even, and I'm like, wow, I must have done something that, but these are things that people respect you because of who you are, because you
Right.
are volunteering and you are respectful. You're making sure your grades are up. You're making sure you're performing and doing different things. They wouldn't have even let me do any of these things if my school grades weren't up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these are things that I had no idea that I was even earning or doing, because they didn't tell me. These were just things they picked us for,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, wow. And so now at this age, you think back and it's like, wow, was I really that important even back then? I was
Mm-hmm.
17, 18 years old. We didn't
Mm-hmm.
know. And here I am. I'm not even going to say my age. Well,
Honey, it's
I'm
okay. It's
61 years old.
okay.
I am 61 years old, you guys.
All right.
And my birthday this year is on Mother's Day. So,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Wow.
and even my doctor said, oh, my doctor said, I just saw her in January. She says, oh, so you were a present to your mother? I said, I guess so. I was born the day before
That
Mother's Day.
part.
Actually, at that time, I was born the day before Mother's Day. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess I was a gift to my mom. So,
Yeah, most definitely. Wow. All right. See, Secret said, "Hi, Jamie. Saw you during Readers Magnet Book Fab in Manhattan. I'm a fan." All
oh, well,
right.
thank you.
Yes, he said he's a
You
fan.
know, we enjoy doing these book displays and book can't all these
Mm-hmm.
festivals and stuff. They
Mm-hmm.
are they're not just about getting our books out, you guys. It's a part of the reason, but it's
Mm-hmm.
also to encourage other people to do the same, to
Right.
write themselves, put their own
Right.
experiences out there. It's also
Right.
about really my website out there. It's Jamie's Bookshelf, okay? And it's the website domain is TW for 2W, it's 2 for Avalon.com, but it's TWO number 4 Avalon.com. And basically, it shows out there that my concern is that I want a book in hand. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want just people doing ebooks, um, because we all want we can always carry a book around with us.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, you can't always carry your computer around with you.
Right.
And you want to be, I want libraries around. I want bookstores around. They're important. They're great for children. They're great for adults as we get older. I love some of the books that I get to read. Um, and another reason one of my favorite writers and authors is Joanne Folk. Her murder
Okay.
mystery book. Okay.
Okay.
I like them basically because love the not who done it, but she puts a lot of recipes in it, and she gives you instructions, and she
Oh.
teaches you how to bake. And it's not just recipes for, you know, for baking. It also has recipes, especially around the Christmas ones, about the
Mm-hmm.
food. And you know, and she gives you options, and she gives you everything that she uses. And she I mean, the book is 400 pages, you guys. Okay.
Woo! Good gracious,
So
400 pages of recipes. Good stuff, right?
recipes and who done it, and oh my gosh, it's so much fun, you know, to see who did it at the end. But also there's recipes through the chapters, and so
All
that makes
right.
the book fun to read. And I don't know if you know it, but at least three of her books have been already put on Hallmark on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So your books, you know, you guys,
Wow.
if you write a really good one, can be put on TV. You never know.
Yeah, how about that? All right, Jamie. So listen, we're going to go to another hashtag. So let's see what else we have coming up. All right. Now, this is a
Hey,
good subject right here. Faith. Yes. So what are your thoughts on faith? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
oh my gosh, being faithful. Well, that's something that God is very good at. We all have to work at it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see what faithful means to me. It's also in my book. Okay. Show up on time on the days you were promised to be there. Do the things they show you and more. Go the extra mile. Follow the rules from the boss of the day. Every supervisor and every day or evening is different person and setup. If you can't come, let them know in advance so they can get someone to cover for you. There are times that you may have to do everything for by yourself. Do it with joy on your face and in your heart. Now, what does faithfulness means in the Bible? That God is constant or faithful in keeping his promises and therefore is trustworthy and unchangeable in his ethical nature. Okay?
All right.
God is different
So
than us. We are not perfect.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, listen, I think you gave us some stuff on faithful or faithfulness, but our
Yeah.
hashtag, Jamie, is faith.
Faith. Well, faith for me
It's
is
faith.
church
So,
then.
yeah,
Faith is
so
church. That
that's
means
right.
going to church to me. That is um that's what it means to me. It means I'm going to faithfully go to church,
Hmm.
um, and serve and volunteer even at church. I'm a
Okay.
yeah, I do. I volunteer in the choir.
Hmm.
I volunteer when they need me in my Bible class, in the bookstore, in the coffee shop. So faith is important to me. Um, we all need to find where that faith is for you. I'm a member of Lancaster Baptist Church, so I'm a Baptist.
Hmm.
Um, and we use the King James Bible, and so that to us is very important. We read it
Hmm.
every day, faithful of reading in my Bible and doing devotions. And we have this week, or actually this weekend starting, we're having revival. And so
Hmm.
that will be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday services. Um, and we have a great speaker. His name is Dr. Getch, and he teaches us about, um, faith,
Hmm.
and it would not just about faith, but also about revival and why it's important and why we go
Absolutely.
to church and why we do what we're doing.
Absolutely.
So,
And JP says, of course, Hebrews 11:1 always comes to mind. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. That's a powerful and concise definition of faith. Absolutely, JP. And that's exactly what I was getting ready to say as well. Whenever I think about faith, it's a subject that I think a lot of us, sometimes we could use or stand a little bit more of because we want things so quickly sometimes. And
mm,
we don't really realize, that sometimes things may take some time. It may not come when we want it to, but it does come on time. And so
mhm,
whenever we can believe, in a God that we have not seen, when we can believe in something that he's promised us, and if we haven't seen it yet, we don't have it yet, that is faith.
Yeah.
Because some people say you crazy, for thinking that that's going to happen or that this is this or whatever. But, when you're strong in your faith, come what may, it doesn't matter because you have, developed such a personal relationship with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And so we understand and we know that beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's going to come through for us, no matter what the delay is right now,
Oh, yeah.
it's going to happen. Right.
Yeah.
And so even with our books, as authors, I can't tell you how many delays, I may have had or times that, I wanted to put the book down and like you, sometimes we might get writer's block. Well,
Yes.
is this the story for right now, or is it going to reach the right person, or all those other things, that we have going on in our minds? But faith says, hey, it is the substance of those things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So though you can't see it, we get to understand and know that God is working it out on our behalf. And so this is why I'm seeing, Jamie, that you have been able to be fruitful with all of the books, that you have put out right now. And you have a true servant's heart. You really have a true servant's heart. There's a difference between a volunteer and a servant, to me. Those are two of the words that were on there just a little bit ago. But anybody can volunteer for something. But when you are a servant, is dear to hear, which is your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you
Exactly.
said, servant's heart from the voice of a volunteer. I'm a volunteer, but the reality is I'm truly a servant. That's and I love that, about you and your book. So I think we have another hashtag. Let's see what the other hashtag is.
Trials.
Trials. Okay, Jamie, talk to us about trials. Oh my goodness.
Well, that comes from encouraging a friend with our trials. Okay. And trials are so important, you guys. They are just there for a reason. Let's see. Do trials matter? Yes, our trials have a reason. There are so many questions we ask ourselves during a trial. One of them is most of us ask is, why does God let this happen to us? Allow us to go through these difficult, trying, painful times in our lives. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
We notice that God is all powerful and could stop these trials if he chose to. Yet, most of the times he does not. Therefore, there must be some reason for them, some godly reason for some not sparing us of these hardships. God, he introduces us all these things and puts us through these storms for a reason, to teach us something.
Mm-hmm.
We're not, first, God gives us the trials in order to teach us our faith, and he teaches us. Second, God gives us our trials in order to test our devotion to Jesus Christ. He really does. And then third, God gives us trials in order to cleanse our lives, to get through those sins and things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Fourth, our trials, he gives God the time to show us his sustaining power for his people during tough times. Also, a main reason for God giving us our trials is to have a Christ-like character within us. Finally, trials give us an equipment through God to serve others. So a trial is something that God had you go through. Okay, it's a test. He teaches it to you. Now it's your turn to try to help somebody else to get through it.
Absolutely, Jamie.
And you got to make sure that you're not being pushy about it, but you've experienced it.
Absolutely.
So that's why I wrote the book. I went through a really big trial with this book.
Absolutely.
I'm lucky I'm alive when I'm here.
Absolutely. I don't think any of us are exempt from any type of trials, and in fact, the word of God tells us that we are partakers, right, in the sufferings of Christ. And so, we ought not think that, we're not gonna, go through anything or experience anything or whatever. But the most important thing that we do know is that certainly we're going to come through with the victory, right? And so we don't have to stay, in the particular, situation or trial that we might find ourselves in, but we know that there's hope and victory on the other side waiting for us. And all we got to do is just get through and we will win and then be able to, of course, help someone else, like you said. So there is another hashtag. Let's flash that one up.
Okay.
Survive. All right, survive. Talk to
I'm a
us about
survivor.
Survive.
I am a survivor. Okay.
Yes.
I had something happen to me when I was 23 years old
Mm-hmm.
and scared the out of me. And I was told that I had 4-stage cancer at
Wow.
23 years old. At the time,
Mm-hmm.
I had not realized I had had chicken pox, okay, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was probably um, after seeing the doctor, they were able to remove the spot that was there. Okay. So it really wasn't cancer, but you know what?
Mm-hmm.
It scares you, especially at that
Of
age.
course.
Um, one of those chicken pox must have exploded, and
Uh-huh.
in between a certain area. And so they were just
Mm-hmm.
able to remove it through a laser, and then um, I've also had a really bad accident where I'm lucky I'm walking and I survived that and got through that. I have an experience in this book. It's called Strawberry Peanut Butter Jelly Sandwich. Um, I'm not
Okay.
even going to give it to you. You need to read it. Okay. I usually talk about it. This time I'm not going to. You need to
Mm-hmm.
read it. It's the center of the book. It teaches you not to give up. It teaches you to
Uh-huh.
keep no matter how long it takes you to get to that peanut butter and jelly and the bread and everything to make it. You know, I will tell you, we learn from our experiences that not to give up. That's what this book is about. Don't give
Right.
up on yourself. Don't give up on that goal. Don't give up on you know, writing a book or doing anything. You know, I've written four. I'm already starting a fifth one. And you're right. I'm unblocked right now. I've got working on things. The way I write a book is it might be a little bit most people. What is he? Oh, he's writing something
All
here.
right. All right.
So I'm basically, it's about encouraging people to do things. That's what this book
Mhm.
was. As a survivor, whatever it is that you got through,
Mhm.
I give it to you for a reason. You'll make it through. There are people that are going through things right now, and I've been able to encourage them to get through
Mhm.
that step, whatever they're doing.
Right, absolutely. When I look at survive, I oftentimes, as well think about certain things, that I've experienced or gone through, in my own life, Jamie. And of course,
Yeah.
I've written the book, So You Want to Be a First Lady. And of course, I tell that story from a place of transparency, as well. Of course, it's showing on the screen here. But, we're sharing from, a place of transparency. Some things that we experience in life or that we go through personally, someone else may not be able to go through it, as gracefully as you may have, or come through it and survive it, gracefully as you may have. And so, one of the things I understand and have learned, from my experiences is that God gave me a grace, to be able to
Yes.
face a lot of those things, and listening to some of the people that have read the book and things like that. And they're like, girl, I don't know how you did this. And yeah, I would have this and ain't no way this. And, because people handle different things differently, right? And so, as a believer, I think it's really, really important, for us to know who we are in the kingdom, right? And I think you made mention of this, Jamie, earlier on, that there are some things that we just can't do. You're not going to, bleed on somebody else or give them what your problems are, or what you're going through right now. We got to, be able to make sure that we're still exemplifying the love of Christ, even though we have this going on, right? And so
Mhm.
I just want to encourage anybody out there that is in a situation right now to know that it's not the end of the world, one. And then two, to know that you can come through it. And once you do, you're going to be able to have a story to tell. And I don't want you to be afraid to share that story. Jamie's not afraid to share her story. And she's got 4 wonderful books and a 5th book getting ready to come out. And that is an extreme and awesome accomplishment, to be able to do that. And so, Jamie, I know I've got a couple of other questions for you. So I'm going to ask while we have a few more minutes here. So, what do you hope that people will take away from reading your book, Servant's Heart from the Voice of a Volunteer? What do you hope that they will take away from it?
Well, that they can go out there and do it too. That there's step out of your comfort zone, realize you're there to help somebody, and that we do it from the kindness of our heart and don't expect anything in return. And sometimes you're not going to. Sometimes you're going to get a bitter statement from somebody. Sometimes you're going to get hate. Sometimes you're going to get love. And sometimes you're going to get the dirtiest look. Don't worry about it. You're there. You know, sometimes I go through a trial sometimes, and God gets me through it because I was doing it for someone else and not for me. You know, I've had some really things happen to me at the beginning of this year, but I look at it now. Thank you, Lord, for getting me through that and getting me home and helping me to do something for someone else in the process. You know, there's times when I go home, you know, and get in my car and just ignore that person. I had an experience happen to me yesterday. This gentleman could not find his car. Could not find it. And so I could just got in my car and left instead of walking around with him and trying to help him decide, okay, where did he put it? And he has one of those clickers, but the problem was he had gotten out of his car and walked instead of being, you know, moving his car. And it ended up being behind a building, and so his little clicker wasn't working. It wasn't going to, you know, and so finally we figured out, well, maybe it's over there. And so he went and he found his car and he didn't come back and he was fine. But I could have gone home instead of wasting the 10 or 15 minutes to just try to encourage him and help him, you know, and not expecting anything in return. Oh my Lord, he got really bent out of shape, and I can understand he was frustrated. I would have been too if I couldn't find my car, you know.
Yeah,
So of course, but you know, it's about being there and just letting him know that it's okay. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. You'll find your car. We'll make sure you find your car. You know? But it sounds really silly, but that's volunteering. That's doing something out of your comfort zone. That's doing something to help somebody and not expecting anything in return, because he just got his car, left, and didn't say thank you. He just left. You know, that's what it is. It really is.
That's funny, you know, because I know whenever you think about stepping out of the comfort zone, you know, a lot of times, you know, we can be fearful, you know, about stepping out of our comfort zone because it's the fear of the unknown. You know, it's a territory that we've never been in, something that we've never experienced or done or whatever. And when somebody's asking you to do something like that, like, oh, no, wait a minute, can't somebody else do that right now? Or somebody more experienced, you know, even sometimes, you know, we think that we don't have what it takes, you know. But I share this little analogy sometimes because I believe that there are so many things that are on the inside of each one of us that God wants to use in this hour. And so whenever you think about, you know, a bird's nest, you know, how the bird's nest, they're all up in the tree, right? And sometimes the nest can be hanging over a road, right? And I'm like, why would they want to hang over a road, you know? But they hang over a road and they're just okay with that. And see, one of the things is like whenever it's time for the baby birds to be able to come out of the nest, the mother bird gives them that push. And sometimes we as individuals, we need that push. And so we may not be ready for it, but God knows just when to push us out there. And so just whenever the mama bird pushes that bird out, he's going to do one of two things. Either he's going to fly or either he's going to die. Because remember, I just said the bird's nest is going to be right over the road. So when he's getting pushed out of that nest and he's going down, you know, he could be spiraling out or whatever, but that's when he figures out that he's got these wings and he can fly. But some of them, they don't, because they're just spiraling all out of control. Oh, woe, it's me, blah, blah, blah. And they bam, and hit the ground. How many birds have we seen that have hit the ground?
Yeah.
They hit the ground because they spiraled out and they just could not get themselves together. They just did not want to move forward in this thing. And, you know, and we can ask questions, you know, if we don't know about a process or what's going on. Hey, can you help me? And that's one of the things that a lot of people will not do is ask for help. Asking for help is not, it's not bad. Ask for help.
Don't be ashamed of it. And
That's it.
asking for help, you know what? There's nothing wrong with asking for help. We all need to. We don't
Mm-hmm.
know everything, and don't be ashamed of it. Um, there are people out there that are, if you don't ask for something, you shall not receive. That's what the Bible says.
That is
It
what the
says
Bible
you need
say.
to be asking. And I do. And I've learned, oh boy, I probably ask too many questions sometimes. But I want to make sure. I want to make sure that I'm following the
Mm-hmm.
right path, and I'm making sure that I, I didn't leave anything out, because I'm not quite sure if this is exactly what I want to do. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and so you have to ask more questions sometimes. Um, let people talk, of course, and give them a chance to speak and to give you examples and stuff. And if you have time, take notes. If you don't, just try to remember as much as you can. But we're
Absolutely.
there for a reason. We're there to, like
Absolutely.
you said, encourage other people. We're there to help not just them, but ourselves, and for God to walk with us and stand next to us and guide us and direct us through so many things. See, people think that we do everything by ourselves. We don't. And I remember until I got up into my 40s that I thought I was controlling everything. It was my it was my money, right? And then I
Uh-huh.
learned, I said, no, it's God's money. It's not
That's
mine.
right.
And I need to make sure that I'm being wise with it, and I'm making sure I'm giving back to my tithe, and I give for missions and building and all these
Mm-hmm.
different things to help the next generation. The
Mm-hmm.
next generation, some of them believe in God and some of them don't. So we need churches, we need books, we need all kinds of things for them to open their mind and see that there's more out there than just themselves and their
Absolutely.
job. They need to make sure they're doing things for their family, they're doing things for work, they're doing things for church, they're doing things for others around them. Because if you're just focused on money and focused on yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. And,
That is so true. That is so true. JP said asking for help is thought of as a sign of weakness. True.
mhm,
It shouldn't be. It's actually a sign of having a sharp mind and being open to learning more or digging deeper into something. It's a powerful tool for critical thinking. Absolutely.
yeah,
I
exactly.
totally agree with that, don't you,
I do.
Jamie? Yeah,
I agree.
absolutely. Thank you, JP, for mentioning that. Most definitely. Most definitely. Well, Jamie, I have another fun fact question, to ask you. So, what do you do when a new idea jumps out at you while you're already writing a book?
Well, I put everything on a piece of paper. I have a notebook. I'm serious. I do. That's how I started the fifth one. I started
Okay.
thinking, see, what I do when I write a book is title, and
Mm-hmm.
then I start with the chapters and figuring out the chapters, 9 chapters, 10 chapters, or whatever they are. And that's how I start. And I know it's different than most people. I don't do it the way everybody else
Mm-hmm.
does. And then I do the research, because there's Bible verses and there's poems in them that are all Christian. Um, and then I do my own experiences, and then I do research online to find out, you know, what other people are saying.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I do when I write a book. I start a notebook. It's sitting by my bed, and I start deciding what I'm going to write, and right now for the fifth book, I've written basically 2 chapters right now, but there's probably going to be 9 or 10. I've already decided some things that I'm going to do, but that's how I start a book.
All
That can
right.
tell you when you've got issues going on, things are popping up in your head and all that kind of stuff. Always have a piece of paper next to you, because a lot of times that's another reason why authors have a hard time sleeping because we're always got something going on in our mind. It's never turned off. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned to just take notes, put it down, and then come back. And that's what I've done with the my fourth book, and as well as it started a while back, and then it changed, and because I took notes and asked questions with mom and my sister and stuff, that's how that one came to be. My
Mm-hmm.
family memories with a little mystery in it. And so this is the way the fifth one is coming because of also people asking me questions.
Okay.
And I thought, wow, this would be an interesting book to write about. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's called Our Furry Friends and What They Teach Us.
All
So
right.
our
All right.
our dogs and our cats, they teach us so much,
Yeah.
about patience, unconditional love, about faith, forgiveness, all these different
Mm-hmm.
things. And I realized there's not too much in the Bible about dogs or cats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's just not too many verses about it. But it isn't about just those dogs. It's about what
Mm-hmm.
God has in there and what He teaches us through our pets. And and it's so
Mm-hmm.
wonderful to have a dog sitting at the door waiting for you when you get home. Such a loving,
Absolutely.
caring person.
They're
And
jumping all over you just like a live human being. Absolutely. But Jamie,
exactly,
listen,
mommy's
this has
home,
been
mommy's home, just like your child.
absolutely.
I'm a
Jamie, this
widow,
has
so a
been a
dog is like
wonderful
my
time.
child. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So,
This is
that's what's so nice about having animals. They teach us so much, and I think most of us take it for granted how important they
absolutely.
are.
Jamie, so this has been a wonderful time of interviewing you. We only have a few minutes here left, so we definitely want to thank you for allowing us to interview you today as our featured author, of course, of the hour, and who's written the marvelous book "Servant's Heart" from the voice of a volunteer. So we definitely want each of you that are listening to us today to go and follow her and pick up her book. Jamie, tell us where again they can get your books.
Okay, they can get it on blurb.com as well as Reader's Magnet, and they're going to be going through Amazon and Barnes and Noble shortly. And I would say within the next couple months, everything will be out there. At least the first three will. The fourth
Mm-hmm.
one, it's a little bit longer, so we'll see about that.
All
And we
right.
also have my website, which is www.two number 4 avalon.com. Or when you go out there, you can look for it's actually Jamie's Bookshelf, but there's somebody else that has it, so you have to make sure you're looking for my domain to make sure you're getting into the same website. And the poster, the banner that you see behind me will let you know that is my website if you find it there. Okay, so we
All
have,
right.
yeah, so Art of Writing is an open door, so it gives you growth, teaching, opportunities, and imagination. So, wouldn't you want to be the president of the United States, or even the wife of the president of the White? That would be
Ooh,
amazing.
I don't know. I don't know. You touching on something there. Don't you want to be the wife of a president? I don't know. So for those of you out there, I'm Tish Barnhart, of course, and I'm the author of So You Want to Be a First Lady. And certainly I tell this book is a cautionary tale, of a first lady that's married to, a man of great prominence. And sometimes being married to a man of great prominence comes along the shenanigans, so with that. And so I want you guys to certainly take a look at that. You can visit my website at www.tishbarnhart.com. You can also find the book on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Walmart.com, any of the retail outlets there. They are selling books. You'll be able to find it. And we've got some great reviews on there as well. So it is definitely a page turner. And so when you said that, hey, do you want to be married to the president? Well, listen, I don't know. So it's definitely going to bring you in. But listen, this has just been such a wonderful time, Jamie, speaking with you today about servant's heart from the voice of a volunteer, and just hearing you share with us your heart of volunteering, and also you sharing with us the 4 books that you've already written, and also the 5th book that you have coming out. And so we know that the sky is the limit for you, and so we definitely look forward to seeing you in London as you go and showcase your book in London, and certainly in LA at the Festival of Storytellers out there in the Confab. So we're so excited. And so listen, everybody out there, thank you again for tuning in with us, all the book lovers out there, all the storytellers out there, all the authors out there. This certainly is the grandest event of the year, this book fair. I've certainly enjoyed it, and I have enjoyed my time with you, Jamie. Listen, you guys, tune in with us on tomorrow. I want you to go and visit www.festivalofstorytellers.com. On there, you can see all of the author schedules, you can see the bookstore, you can see the activities, freebies that are there for you. So listen, we definitely want you tuning in. And listen, I want you to tell a friend, okay? Tell a friend about this wonderful book fair. And then I want you to share this link with your friends too, so that they can hear all about Jamie's books. Thanks again for tuning in. And we here at Reader's Magnet, we say this: we share your stories with the world. Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome to the Festival of Storytellers.
I thank everybody that's involved with this process, because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher. It is about us, the authors.